Welcome back to IMO, in my opinion. I am excited because this is the first time in a long time that all 5 of us have been together. So it's a big day here at IMO.
You weren't there at Christmas.
I was away.
That's right. Okay.
It's always something because we're all pretty busy, so it's really good to be with all of you. I'm so excited.
It's so good to be with you
My
guys.
sisters from another mister.
I need to write that down.
I do too, right?
You've never heard that
Brother
before?
from another mother, yes.
that.
Sister from another mister, okay.
I like
And
that.
then there's brother from another mother. You got that
That's
one,
right.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what you said.
Well, to change things up a little bit, a little more serious, well, a lot more serious, you know, wanted to talk about some things that are happening nationally. And one of the biggest things that is going on right now is the Coney 2012 video has, I believe, like more views on YouTube than any in the amount of span of time that it's been on.
It has like 76 million reviews.
That's crazy.
Probably by now, that was last night, probably by now 78.
Well, I definitely was another one.
Because
Yeah.
we're using like Facebook, it's like class on Facebook, and people are tweeting about
Right.
it. So
It
those
goes
are just
to
the links
show
that
the power of social
media.
So we're talking, if you're not aware of Coney 2012, definitely take the time to take a look at the video and form your own opinion. We're going to talk about, I'm sorry?
K-O-N-Y.
Yes, K-O-N-Y. We're going to talk about our personal opinions, but definitely watch it and form your own opinion. We don't want to force our own views on anyone because it's kind of a touchy, sensitive subject. But you all, or most of you, have had an opportunity to take a look at the video. I know when I first watched it, I'm a very emotional, sensitive person, as you girls know. So when I first watched it, it totally pulled at my heartstrings, and I was ready to send them my whole paycheck.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, like you have to sometimes, you know, you got to research and step back and all that. So a lot has come out since the video has been posted about the controversy, and you know, just kind of makes you think before you jump on board to any cause,
Or
really.
pledge, like they have the
Right.
site where they want you to pledge or not.
And just a little bit of the background
Yes.
for people who might not have seen the video.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, Coney is a warlord in Uganda who basically is notoriously kidnapping children to then kill their parents, become child warriors, and basically the young boys being trained up into militia, girls for the sex trade or sexual abuse, if you
He was also deforming the children also, correct?
Oh, he
There
had
was a
the
lot of
children
physical,
deformed. People, and just horrible. You know, actually, when I saw the video, my first thought wasn't about pledging money. My first thought was, holy cow, this is really powerful that U.S. policy would be changed, because we never go into Africa for anything. Anything. I mean, famine, it's usually a European cause. For it to become an American cause is pretty amazing. And the controversy that it might not still be going on is that it has happened. I mean, this is documented. These are documented atrocities for years. And that this has come to light is amazing. So I didn't think about so much the money aspect of it. I thought about the power of social media being able to change entire government policy, as we saw in Arab Spring. You know, this is phenomenal, and that if this actually happens on April 20th, this whole plastering of the Cody 2012, that is a phenomenal feat. And this guy is a warlord. He is a warlord. He needs to be brought to justice.
Yes.
Regardless if it happened 10 years ago or 2 days ago.
But I think with the controversy, and correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I still have a lot more research to do on it, but I think the controversy is sending U.S. troops now at this point in time. Is it really the right thing to do? Is that really where our efforts are best served if it's not happening right now every day?
Well, I mean,
what do you think about that?
I think that if we can go into at least one country named Iraq for you know, kind of purposes that we're not really sure were even valid at this point. These are people that are going into the jungles to train their militia, the Ugandan armies or the African country armies, to find this guy. We're not deploying people to fight. We're deploying people to teach. And I think, you know, that's a social awareness that we've never had in this country, except if it benefits us. And it doesn't benefit us to go into Uganda. And so I think people are kind of like, well, what does that mean? It's 100 people they sent in. 100 versus how many troops died in Iraq.
Right, right.
You know, so it just.
But what about all the kids that are child sex trafficked in the U.S.? The phenomenon is growing every day. There's kids being taken out of their homes. There's kids, why isn't our National Guard taking care of our own first, taking care of the kids that are being sexually molested, abused at truck stops, being passed on, being trafficked, being killed, we don't even know about? We have such a huge problem in this country. I'm not saying Uganda is not as important,
understood.
but we're totally ignoring the problem we have in this country, completely. I mean, the child porn going on here, and
I don't know if it's necessarily being ignored. I think, here's what I think.
By our military.
Well, by the military, but then it becomes a malicious state if we do that.
But the National Guard is supposed to protect, right? Isn't the National Guard?
Yeah, but in terms of but we can't have a military state. We can't. I mean, I can see the difference. It's like these are legalities that we're talking about in the United States in terms of child porn. So legislation changes activities.
Right. Social programming that we have.
Right. Law enforcement. Sex is huge. I know that it's huge in the United States. But this is for this particular deployment in Uganda. I think that it's bigger than sex. It's Holocaust kind of proportions. And I know what you're saying.
Oh, well, we're having it here too. That's all I'm saying. We're having it here too.
And we
have to bring light to the fact that everyone's so worried. 75 million hits about this. Where's the 75 million hits about the stuff happening in our backyard?
But
I think that's.
Yeah, no, I understand. But I think that we do have a lot of knowledge about what goes on in this country. I think there's a lot. I think the sex trade in and of itself is a secretive, horrible thing.
Yeah. So, did you want to jump in, Alicia?
Sorry,
Alicia? Oh, no, it's okay. Well, what I was going to say, one of the positive things that, I could say is positive, is that a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily have gotten into a particular cause found at least an opportunity to get outraged and then to actually do something, even if it was as simple as post a video or the video on their wall and be able to say, hey, we need to do something about this.
Because it's
so I think for a lot of people, it was like, oh my gosh, life isn't just about the cost of gas. Life isn't just about the fact that, oh my gosh, what's going on, Desperate Housewives or, basketball, baseball wives. But there's something that's bigger in life that's going on that we need to get outraged about. So being mobilized, even if it was just as simple as passing a video along and saying, I'm outraged. What are you going to do about this? Now, granted, on the flip side, we do need to make sure that, as people, we don't want to just be, and I'm not saying that that's this case, but we don't want to be gullible to the fact of where all of a sudden, I'm going on the flip side, where all of a sudden now I'm like, I'm so outraged about this. I'm outraged. And it's just like, have you done any research or you just watched a video? Have you gone to the website? Have you gone to do background information? Because there's also a question about whether or not the stories that are coming out of Uganda are being told by Ugandans versus other people from a journalistic standpoint who tells our story. Do we tell our story, or does our story get told by well-produced videos that get 75 million hits? So there are a lot of things that we can talk about as far as, yes, it's good that we get mobilized, but we can't just get mobilized without being informed.
Right.
We need to do everything.
This is definitely a topic we could talk about for a while.
Can I just say something?
Yes, go ahead.
For Lika, and maybe given the power of social media and this particular cause, right or wrong or whatever it is, those are the kinds. Don't smile at me. Those are the kinds of things.
Don't smile at me. Frown at me.
These are the kinds of things that maybe we can be brought to light through other videos for child sexual abuses in the United States. So let's get on it.
Also, I'm sure a lot more. This is a conversation we will continue to have, and on air and off air. But and as we mentioned, please check out the video yourself and come up with your own opinion.
Definitely.
We're going to talk a little bit about something that happened locally when we come back. So please stay tuned for that.